Hi, welcome to this educational session by Khoo Learning Technologies Group. Today I'm going to share with you about how to make goals work for you. So we all know the importance of goals, both personally as well as professionally. If you read any book, attend any seminar on personal and professional development, they'll tell you that you've got to have a vision, you've got to have goals. Why? They're going to give you a direction, they're going to motivate you, they're going to bring out the highest potential. But the reality is this, for the majority of people, goals don't seem to work. Is that true? See, many people tell me, at the beginning of the year, they set New Year's resolution. They say, okay, I resolved that this year I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to make more money. And guess what? 1 year later, they review their goals and they find nothing has been done. The same thing happens at a corporate level, where the CEO has a vision. The directors and managers set goals for their staff. But along the way, they get sidetracked. They lose focus on those goals. And they kind of like get distracted by the many competing priorities. And again, at the end of the year, nothing happens. So for the top organizations, for the successful individuals, how do they stay focused on their goals? How do they make sure they continually move forward every single day? Now, there are 3 keys to making this happen. Key number 1 is if you want to achieve your goals, you can't focus on it once a year. You've got to focus on it every single day. Review it every day. Why? Because unless you focus on your goals every day, you will not take the daily actions required to move towards that goal and achieve that. Let me give you a metaphor. I'm sure many of you here have taken a plane ride before. And I always like to joke that being a pilot is one of the most easiest jobs in the world. Because out of a 24-hour flight, the pilot flies, or rather works, for about 2 to 3 hours. Takeoff and landing. Throughout the entire 20-hour journey, it's on autopilot. And this is how it works. Let's imagine you are now in Singapore. And you're going to take a flight all the way to Hawaii. Right? So you get on the plane. Now what happens is the moment the plane takes off, the pilot sets it on autopilot. And you're punching the coordinates of the destination. And the plane will lock on to the destination. Alright? So the plane's computer will plot what we call a flight path all the way to Hawaii. Alright, we call it a flight route, if you will. Yeah? And the plane will start flying there. Now the question is this, does the plane fly directly on its route? No, it doesn't. Why? Because as the plane flies towards its destination, there are going to be winds, there's going to be turbulence, there's going to be changes in weather. And what happens is these winds blow the plane off course. Alright? Now here's the thing, does the plane get blown off course? Guaranteed all of the time. But does the plane eventually reach the destination? Yes, it does. Why? Because inside the plane's computer, there's a servo mechanism that's constantly locked on to that destination. At the moment it's blown off course, the servo mechanism will detect, okay, we're supposed to be going 24 degrees. We're now going 20 degrees. You'll calculate the differential and signal the plane's avionics and adjust the stabilizers and what have you and bring the plane back on course. And the plane continues on its route. But sure enough, after a few minutes or few hours, another wind will blow and the plane gets blown again off course. What happens again? Computer detects the difference, signals the avionics, the differential, and the plane gets back on course again. And this process continues. So in fact, if you look at a plane's flying pattern, it doesn't go straight on its planned route, or route if you will. But the way it goes is this way. It goes this way, and 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 it eventually reaches its destination. And if you think about it, 70% of the time, the plane is off course. Now, doesn't the same thing happen in life, personally and professionally? When we set goals, when we create strategic plans, do things always go according to plan? No, they don't. 70% of the time, things we plan to do never go according to plan. Does that mean we can't reach our destination? No, we can still reach our destination. Why? See, people who succeed are not people who are luckier, that they've got no problems, that everything goes according to the way they want. It doesn't happen that way. People who succeed, organizations that reach their goals, they too find themselves sometimes 70% off course when the market changes, when competitors change, but they still reach the goals they set. Why? Because they are continuously focused on that goal every single day, week and month. And when things are not going in that direction, what do? They immediately change their strategy and get back on course again. Now, think about the company that sets a goal at the beginning of the year, gets all excited about it. But you know what? They reviewed 1 year later. What happens? It's like that aeroplane locking onto that target one time. sets it on autopilot, right? But as it's flying on autopilot, it loses that lock on. So what happens? The wind blows, the company gets distracted by competing priorities, by the changing environment, and the plane goes off course, right? And what happens? Only 1 year later do they detect the difference. And by that time, they would have reached a different country, call it Africa if you will. And by that time, there's no way they can get back on track. So what's the lesson here? Key lesson is this: successful organizations review their goals consistently, daily, weekly, and monthly. Head of departments get their people together and every week spend about just 20 minutes reviewing their KPIs, their goals. And at the end of the week, they ask themselves this question: have we moved closer in that direction? How much have we achieved? And if we have not, we have the flexibility to readjust our strategy to get back on track. That's key number one. Key number two to staying focused on your goal, to achieving your goal is to make it a commitment and not an interest. See, when I ask people, how many of you are interested to achieve your goals, personally or professionally? You know, everyone would raise their hand. And I say, I agree with you, right? Everyone is interested in achieving their goals. But when I ask the second question, how many of you are committed to achieving your goals? People start to look around and just a few hands go up with hesitation. So, there's a difference between being interested and being committed. And if you look at any industry, I would say 90% of people are interested to become the best in their field. But only 10% are committed to become market leaders, to be the best in their field. Is there a difference? You bet. See, when you're interested in a goal, will you take action? Yes, you will. You will take action only if it's convenient, only if it's easy, only if it's within the confines of your comfort zone, right? But the moment things get tough, the moment setbacks happen, the moment challenges come up, these people will stop and will start to give themselves a lot of excuses. They have got a doubt that stops them from continuing to take action. They'll say, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the resources, I don't have the support I want. And guess what? They'll never get what they want. But when something is a commitment, what happens? You will take action even if it's inconvenient. And the key word is, when something is a commitment, it's not a wish, it's not a hope. It becomes what we call an absolute must. When achieving that target is a must, when being that market leader is a must. And when something is a must, you operate from a very different frame of mind. What happens is you're willing to do whatever it takes to get the result. If you have to spend 10 more hours a week, you spend 10 more hours a week. If you have to completely change the culture of the organization, you will change the culture of the organization. If you've got to completely slay the sacred cows and rechange your strategy, you will do it. Within legal, ethical, and moral means, of course. But when you're willing to do whatever it takes to get the result, you will get that result. The third key is this. The third key is to get momentum. See, very often in life, when we set goals, it's always hard to get started, especially if it's something new. We all have what we call inertia. But you find that the moment you're able to get yourself to break out the inertia and to take those first few steps, what happens? You create momentum. It becomes a part of your daily routine. And once that happens, the motivation feeds on itself. And you start to keep moving until you reach that destination. The key is, how do we get that inertia into momentum? How do we create momentum? And the answer is this. One thing which I found is, every time you set a goal, even if the goal is to be achieved 1 year from now or 2 years from now, you gotta take action right now. You gotta take at least 3 action steps immediately in the next 36 hours to make it happen for yourself. Let me give you an example. For example, if you say to yourself, I always wanted to start a company, a business, but you know what? I don't have the resources now, I don't have the money now, I don't have a business plan now. So I'm gonna give myself 1 to 2 years. Even if it's a 1 to 2 year goal, you gotta take some action right now, within 36 hours. So what could be done? Well, many things. Number one, could you go to the Registry of Companies, ACRA, and register a company right now in the next 24 hours, 36 hours? Right, I put down like a couple $100. Because the moment you put down some money, you make a commitment, your brain knows it's real. And you start to move in that direction. What else can you do in 36 hours? You could write a business plan, right? The third thing you could do is, for example, let's say a customer market survey and start getting the results. You could go to the bookshop, buy 4 books on business planning. Do something that will start to get you moving. The same thing happens in a corporate environment. As a leader, as a head of department, the moment you set goals for your staff, a vision, get everyone to take action within 36 hours and submit that plan to you. And once they start doing it, things start to get moving and it gets real. So these are the 3 keys to staying focused on your goal and moving forward till you achieve your goal. And I know you found this learning session really useful. And if you have, get more empowering ideas by going to www.akltg.com, and we'll see you there. Thank you.